Alright, so what is up, guys? Welcome back here to the Utah Utes Dynasty. We're here today. We have the off-season video where the Utes went 12-2 this season, finishing in a semifinal loss to Florida in the college football playoff semifinal, and it was a pretty good year. Behind a freshman quarterback who did pretty well. 28 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. You can add 5, so you can make it 30-14 for the year if you include the semifinal game. So the picks can go, I could say that, but as we look here, we're losing Connor Manning, who actually filled in great this year as a quarterback that would, we got hurt a lot. Kendall Thompson got hurt. Chris Carroll was hurt for a little bit this year. And we got a new defensive coordinator, which should change things up a bit. As we look here at the players that are leaving, Matt Anderson is declaring for the draft early. We're losing Trevion Young, one of our best players. Some key defensive players, Andre Godfrey and Monte Seabrook. Connor Manning, of course. Also some offensive linemen. Also, Jotu Kuafu and Harrison Hanley are both leaving as well, including Sharif Shah Jr. And, of course, Isaac Asiata, our best player as of right now. And Matt Anderson is very easy to persuade, so we're just going to give him that, and he will stay very easily. Very easy to keep players in this game, to be honest. No one is trying to transfer, and also no one got drafted from our team. So our very talented team, apparently no one gets drafted. I thought Young might have late, or because he had a pretty good year. He's had 2 great years. He actually did better last year. Yeah, last year he had 1,400 yards, but he had about 20 more carries last year. Still, that's over 200 more yards on 20 more carries. That's absolutely incredible. He averaged still 7.3 per game. And then also Adrian Anderson, his production dipped a little bit with a quarterback that can actually throw the ball a little bit more. We threw the ball a little bit more. That's basically how it worked. And as we look offensively, Wesley Johnson became the breakout star receiving-wise. Him and Raylan Singleton, they were the 2 key targets for us. Of course, Trevion Young catching passes out of the backfield will rack up a good amount of receptions. But Wesley Johnson was the main target we'd go to when we needed a key receiver to make something happen. And he really did well this year as he'll be going into his senior season. As well with Matt Anderson. His production went up a little bit, but I don't think we utilized him in the way that we should have throughout his entire career. Harrison Hanley, of course, leaving. One of the most sure-handed tight ends we've had. 2014, we didn't really use him that well, to be honest, because we were a very run-happy team. That was when James Poole, I believe, won the Heisman. So, yeah, pretty interesting. But we're also losing some defense, although we're not really losing that much. Jeff Henry, the true freshman, with 5 interceptions this year. And Everett Lowe, the sophomore, with 9 sacks. So it's the young guns defensively that really kept us in it this season, made some big plays, as it usually... Actually, that's not how it usually ends up. Usually our teams are very senior heavy. As we look here at recruiting and who we're trying to get, we got our main player. We got Josh Pugh. He was our number 1 target, and Derek James. Try and fix up that secondary that got burned so many times last year. Getting a 5-star corner will definitely help that. But the 2 players that we are going to be targeting for this one are a tight end, since we're losing 2 tight ends, which we will definitely need to replace. His name is Brad Golden, 77 overall, 6'7", 273, the number 4 overall tight end. That dude's a beast, and I'm putting pretty much all of our points on him. If not all, it's pretty much all, I'm pretty sure. So Brad Golden is the first one, and then we're also trying to go for a right receiver in Kevin Howell. As last year we stockpiled recruiting with wide receivers. I believe we had 5 incoming freshmen wide receivers. I don't think any of them played. I'm pretty sure almost all of them were redshirted. But nonetheless, we're still trying to get both of them. And, of course, as we look at it, Brad Golden will attending. I was about to say something else, but he will be attending Utah, and as will Kevin Howell. Brad, we really went all out, and, maybe we didn't use that much about him, but I'll take him. And we got some really good players coming in this season. I'm really excited for some of our freshmen that will definitely start. As we look here at the free safety position, officially making Jeff Henry a corner, changing his official title, and then our athlete, the one athlete, Javon Williams, switch him to a free safety there. And as we look here after training, we got some good players in this team. Chris Carroll up to a 92, Raylan Singleton a 94 overall. Absolutely incredible. We got an 86 overall backup in Donovan Eason. So, we're pretty talented on the skill positions. The only thing that concerns me is the non-skill positions. Our offensive line is kind of weak. We don't have the strongest offensive line we've had in past years. And especially with a run-heavy team, it's going to be Adrian Anderson carrying a lot of the load. But Rusty Marshall, big dude. That's a big dude that can carry the ball there. So he's going to get some carries on the goal line. I think he's going to be able to punch a few in this season. As we look at our receiving core, is pretty dang good this year, especially with Matt Anderson, Raylan Singleton, Wesley Johnson. They're going to do pretty well this season. As I was saying, the offensive line, it's not that strong. Like, it's okay, but I would rather have a much stronger offensive line than we have. Defensively, Everett Lowe, the low overall doesn't really matter. And the 2D tackles that are both above 90 overall now is also, with our new defensive coordinator, we're switching from a 3-3-5 this year to a 4-3. And I hope that it will at least solve some of our defensive problems, because it's mainly been teams that just they're able to sit back in the pocket forever, and their quarterbacks have so much time to make decisions. And hopefully with 4 guys rushing this time, we'll be able to apply more pressure and force them to make, better decisions. So, as we see here, I got 78 players out of 70. Got to cut some guys. Of course, you got to cut the 50s. Don't really care what they were going to, whether they're freshmen or not. And then there's a few, freshmen that were red shirts. And, it's never easy, but you got to do it sometimes. Even though he's not the lowest overall, it's something you got to do. Actually, I don't think I ended up cutting him. Oh, no, I did. I'm cutting him. But nonetheless, it's just never easy trying to cut people. And then the next one also, John Moore. We gotta space up some of these wide receivers. We got a lot of them, even though we got a lot leaving next year. But also, corner will go. One of our free safeties, a redshirt junior, that's 4th string, shouldn't even be on the team. There's no reason for it. And then this was unfortunate because, you got a few guys that are very similar in many ways. They're not the most talented players in the team, but you just kind of got rid of them, even if they're freshmen, It's something you got to do, and it's part of the game. So, whatever. As we look here at the schedule, we will start off against Utah State, and then we will play Texas A&M. We will start a 2-year little back and forth between Texas A&M. They'll play at our place, and then we will go to their place the next year. As we look here at our recruiting board, number 1 overall prospect we're going for is quarterback Emmanuel Smith. He was our second. We were his second overall team that he really wanted to go to, which is really surprising to me, to go to Utah when it's a very run-happy school. But nonetheless, I won't question it. We're going to go hard on him. We're going to go hard on some D tackles. We're going to go hard on some middle linebackers. We're going to go hard on some corners. And receivers, we're kind of good. But nonetheless, we're still going to try and get the best players we can. Get a better secondary. That's mainly the key in this year's recruiting. Secondary and linebackers is the main key. And then Emmanuel Smith, if we can get him. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this off-season video. I'll see you guys in our game against Utah State. So have a great day, and of course, goodbye.